Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Okay, we're back and delighted to have with us today Terri Rasmussen. He's the president of Redemption Ridge, an incredible ministry right here in Southern Oregon that's reaching out to victims of sex trafficking and bringing healing and help and hope back into their lives. And Terri, good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you. First of all, before we get into all this, you got an event coming up first part of June. Tell us about it.
Well, on June 3rd, we have Dr. Becca Johnson coming in,
Okay.
and she is a psychologist who has been working in the realm of human trafficking. She's a psychologist. She's been practicing for 25 years, the last decades, really specifically focusing in on sex trafficking. And she works with girls at an organization up in Washington State. She works with an organization in Cambodia. Wow. She's been to Thailand. She has been all around the world, India, Chile, working with girls, training staff how to help these girls with what she describes as trauma-sensitive care. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a holistic way for a staff to operate, helping these girls through their trauma.
Well, I interviewed Dr. Johnson. She was phenomenal.
Yes.
And you know what was so interesting? There's no question in my mind that God has put on her heart to do this. She has such a deep, almost broken passion to see these girls rescued and helped and healed. And so what an opportunity. So where and when? What's the deal? Well,
let's see. Tuesday, the 3rd, we will be from 8 to 5 p.m. at the Smolin Center.
Okay.
And that is $25, which includes lunch and a light breakfast. And that is actual training. If someone is needing continuing education hours, mm-hmm. We do have that has been accredited. Okay, so there'll be continuing education hours. On the 2nd, Monday the 2nd, from 6:30 to 9 o'clock, we're going to have a pre-conference session. And this is what really interested in talking about this morning. That's going to be more open to the public, something that the general public might be interested in. And she's going to be talking about just an overview of human trafficking, what's going on, what it looks like. And this would be a very good conference for anyone who is interested in maybe volunteering in the realm of human trafficking with an organization, or even anybody working with social service agency or another nonprofit who's working with traumatized children.
Wow. All right, Redemption Ridge. It was a dream, now it's a reality.
Well, it's getting closer and closer. Just as far as getting the building open, we're very close to submitting licensing with the state of Oregon. Hopefully next month we'll be making that submission to the state.
And the hope of this is what?
Is to open a home here in Southern Oregon where these would be minor age girls initially. We could have a home where these girls could go and heal and recover from their trafficking, the abuse that they take, the raping that takes place on a daily basis for these girls. We have, over the last probably 4 months, seen 3 girls come out of escape their trafficker here in the Medford area.
Escape here?
Escape here.
How do they do that?
Everyone has a different story.
Okay.
Everyone has a different story, but they get away, make contact with us. We placed one a couple weeks ago out of state in another home because there's no place around here to take care of them. Yeah. We've got another one in another week or so we'll be placing in another home. So we're working with these girls, doing the work that we can right now until we get our own home open. Wow. But we're getting the girls placed, and that's difficult because you have to talk and find the bed. The challenge is finding the open bed to get them.
Have you talked to these that have escaped? Have you met them?
I personally have not met them. They have. Well, that's not true. I met one as we were getting ready to transport her. Right. I did meet her, but it's usually different women staff with Redemption Ridge who are dealing with them. Okay. A lot of times with the men being the abusers, I try and stay out of the picture.
Sure, I understand that. I understand that. So it's real.
It's very real.
It's very real, and I would assume that once Redemption Ridge is in full swing here, the home here, how do you get the word inside the trafficking industry to these girls that if they come to Medford, maybe they can escape and find a place for help?
Well, these girls are escaping at different locations all over the place. The nice thing here is that there's word on the street now there's an organization that can help.
Right.
So these girls are literally finding us within hours of getting away. So the issue isn't getting the word out. The word's already out. It's getting the location.
Does authorities know that you're there? So
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
We're actively involved with Jim Williamson, who's with the Medford Police Department. He's a detective who focuses on crimes against children. We're connected with all kinds of social service agencies, which includes a network called CAN, who is a co-sponsor of this event.
Right.
It's a child abuse network, and so we're working with all of those.
All right, so the Tuesday event, the evening event, is this for people who may feel called to come in and help you?
Absolutely. That's exactly who this would be called for.
Okay.
Just an overview. She wants to share her decade experience of working with survivors. What does it look like? And part of the issue that they're finding, and International Justice Mission has taken on her methods for all the homes that they work with because of the success that they've been having with it. But a lot of times you'll have a woman who's been traumatized, and the difficulty is she goes in to a facility for counseling. But the people that she comes in contact with before she gets in to see the therapist may trigger issues in the person's life, in the client's life. And so trauma-informed care is a complete overview of an organization as to how everybody, from the person at the front door to the person at the back door, when they leave, handles and treats this person, and so that nothing's triggered along the way.
Right.
And when you're talking about girls living in a home setting, there's so many different people who could come in contact, whether it's the house mom that's there, a teacher, a therapist, the guy who's mowing the lawn. Everybody has to be informed of how to treat, how to react to, how to deal with these type of situations so as not to bring more harm.
We are talking long recovery, aren't we?
Yes.
And
yes.
I think that's the thing that people need to understand. I know when I was talking to Dr. Becca Johnson, outside of direct divine intervention, most of the healing process, which is, certainly got involved, but it just takes a lot of time to break all of that.
We met with a director of another facility down in California a couple of weeks ago, and he said if they can't potentially have the girl for at least a year, that they usually don't bring them in.
Oh, really?
So their facility is for minors, so they won't take anyone over about 16 years old. If they age out at 18 and have to move on, if they're 17 and a half years old, it's difficult for them to even get to work with them. He says it takes the first 3 months for the girls. They don't really do much with them except just let them exist in the facility, just to let them come down from the high trauma that they've been on. They're so closed up, and then you'll begin to see them break down and weep and that type of thing. But the first thing is just to let them come down.
Is there an attempt to reconnect them with their family?
If the family's healthy.
Okay.
Absolutely. Reunifying them with the family is absolutely the goal if it's a healthy family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of times these girls are being trafficked because the family's unhealthy to begin with, and that's where the abuse began.
Right.
But there are girls, and we have some here that we've dealt with, who actually come from healthy families.
Wow.
And or the family was unhealthy before.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a stepdad who was the abuser. Well, the stepdad's no longer in the picture. Mom is healthy, and we try and bring them back into that situation.
All right, so somebody might be interested. I mean, you'd have to be called of God to do this.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I know your own journey into this, kind of kicking and dragging, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yet, what a rewarding thing. It can be real frustrating trying to deal with all the different things of getting an organization like this started. But all that kind of goes to the wayside when you actually start getting hands-on and you actually start seeing the girls and the recovery and the hope. It was interesting, the one girl that's transported out of state was taken by two females, staff people of Redemption Ridge. And the trip was, 8-10 hours long, and throughout the day the conversations and the wonderment and the sweetness of the conversation in the car with this victim, and then the reports that we're getting, how encouraged she is and hopeful she is, and just in the first 2 weeks.
All right, so if somebody feels led to investigate this, that's what June 2nd's all about.
Absolutely.
So what do they do?
They can go to our website. It's actually the best place to learn more about the event, and that's redemptionridge.com.
Okay.
And they can click on you'll see the banner at the top, and they can register. And if they need the continuing credits, they can register for the conference. If they just want to do the pre-session, there's no cost to that.
Yeah.
That's free. And the information is there as well.
RedemptionRidge.com. I would encourage you to, if you're feeling tugged by the Lord to maybe get involved in this, just go to RedemptionRidge.com. Now, a lot of the stuff, once you're up and running, will be fairly confidential. I say totally confidential, but, you know, kind of below the radar. You don't want a lot of people know where it is and what you're doing, right?
That's exactly right. It is confidential. It's unfortunately, we're dealing with abuse. And quite often, the abusers will pursue them and try and recruit them right back out of the homes if they know where the homes are. So confidentiality is key.
Yeah, and training. You just can't walk in and do this. You got to be trained.
Yes,
that's part of your licensing and everything.
You have to be called, committed, and trained. Absolutely, because you know it's easy to get the hype up and go, oh, you know, I want to jump into the middle of this, but we're talking about very injured, very difficult people to work with. These are not girls who just say, hey, come heal me up, I'm ready. Some of them are not at that point.
Well, in some ways they're wet pups, aren't they? You know?
Yes.
Now, if somebody is past that age, can they voluntarily be there? Or do you primarily take them up to the age of 18?
Well, the specific home that we're opening right now will be for minors only. DHS will not allow a mixed population of adults and minors.
Okay.
Then our goal is, once that's up and running, then to also get a home for adult women, 18 to 25, you know, that kind of age group.
And I would just say to our viewers and listeners, this isn't just something that popped up like, well, here's a ministry, let's do it. There's a need here.
Oh, very much a need.
You know, and you know, Dr. Johnson spoke of the I-5 corridor in Medford, and you know, and I was kind of staggered by it. And I've had you on a couple of times, but just how big is the problem here?
It's huge. The I-5 corridor, which runs right through the middle of our valley here, there are girls being trafficked through here on a daily basis. So the inevitability is these girls will escape. Not only that, but a lot of these girls that are escaping are from our own area. These are our local girls that have been trafficked out of here. So it's happening, and not only do we need to help rescue these girls, we need to help educate the girls,
right,
you know, the teens, as to what's going on out there. These guys are luring them away, because it doesn't look like alluring when they lure them away.
The other thing, Terry, before we were done here, and that is that the laws are beginning to recognize this and change, and they're no longer considered prostitutes but victims. And I don't know, where is that process?
It's moving along pretty well, and there's more laws coming down the pipeline. But yes, you're correct. The laws are recognizing them, and there's now what's called a rape shield law in the state of Oregon, which protects the girls from having to face their accusers in the court, just like a rape victim can testify on video, that type of thing. So those laws are in effect. But more importantly or just as importantly, I would say, as the laws, is the training for law enforcement and judges and district attorneys and first responders of all types to recognize what they're seeing and treat the girl as the victim rather than treating her as the criminal.
Well, this is terrific. And again, let me encourage you, redemptionridge.com. You may want to circle June 2nd. That is a open to the public kind of investigative opportunity to come in and see how you could be trained. If you actually want to attend the full seminar, it's a day seminar and training session with Dr. Becca Johnson. That's the following day on the 3rd, and that'll be over at the Smolin Center right across the parking lot there from our VMC. Terry, thanks. This is wonderful. RedemptionRidge.com. Thanks for what you're doing.
Appreciate you having me in.
God bless. We'll be right back.